The official report on the assassination of President John F. Kennedy was delivered to President Lyndon Johnson on September 23, 1964, by the President's Commission on the Assassination of President Kennedy. The Warren Report, as it came to be known, established 24-year-old Lee Harvey Oswald, a self-proclaimed Marxist and would-be defector to the Soviet Union, as the sole assassin of President Kennedy, firing 3 shots from the southeast window of the 6th floor of the Texas Schoolbook Depository building in Dallas, from a 6.5mm Italian-made World War II vintage Carcano rifle, striking the president once in the back of the neck and once in the back of the head. And that should have been the end of the story. But 60 years, 2,000 books, and 2 million pages of documentation later, more than half of the U.S. population believes that Lee Oswald did not act alone, if in fact he acted at all. The Warren Report was so poorly received by civilians and politicians alike that only 12 years later, the House of Representatives launched its own investigation. As much as the crime was replete with coincidences, cosmic convergences, and paradoxes, so was the Warren Report, confounding the elements and compounding the mysteries of the assassination and driving 60 years of legitimate investigations, constrained speculation, and outright fantasies, many of which were peddled for profit. Praxeology is the science of decision-making, identifying relevant facts and drawing cogent conclusions from those facts. The Warren Commission, while in many areas conducting a thorough and seminal investigation, through failure of praxis, overlooked some of the most salient points of fact. These oversights led to doubts about the Warren Commission's competency, motivation, and ultimately its desire to provide a complete account of the crime. It is roundly accepted that the Warren Commission began their work with the presumption of Lee Oswald's guilt, as determined by the FBI in December of 1963. It is all the more perplexing that the Commission failed to present an airtight narrative implicating Lee Oswald. The first 54 pages of the Warren Report contain enough errors and oversights to make even the most sympathetic readers question the Warren Commission's competency. That is not to say that all of its conclusions were specious or incorrect. Most of the Warren Commission's actions and conclusions were competent and even excellent. But like the 2007 New England Patriots, who won every game of the season and then lost Super Bowl 42 to the New York Giants, the Warren Commission failed to deliver key points, negating hundreds of thousands of hours of meticulous work on a final analysis that accomplished the opposite of its stated goal, due to errors and oversights that could have been rectified if the report had not been rushed to press to support the election campaign of Lyndon Johnson, itself a questionable act of loyalty on the part of Kennedy's successor. In LHO versus JFK, the final analysis, we will address the most salient and the most talked about elements of the assassination. You will hear new perspectives on old evidence, deeper explanations of controversial topics, presentation and assessment of forensic evidence, and finally, a conclusion about the person or persons responsible for the death of John Kennedy.
What kind of a peace do I mean, and what kind of a peace do we seek? Not a Pax Americana, enforced on the world by American weapons of war. Not the peace of the grave or the security of the slave. I am talking about genuine peace, the kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living, the kind that enables men and nations to grow and to hope and build a better life for their children. Not merely peace for Americans, but peace for all men and women. Not merely peace in our time, but peace in all time.